This is your host, Jason Snellgrove, and I will be your guide as we journey down the road to pleasure hunt or hitting the long trail to those great comp hunts. This is the Coonhound Collective podcast.
Hello?
Hey, Mr. Roy?
This is him.
Hey, this is Jason Snellgrove, and I've got Brett here with me.
Okay.
Hey, Roy. How are you doing?
What's going on? Oh, same old, same old.
You been hunting any?
I went hunting a couple nights ago. I didn't go last night. And I took my jewel female out, made 2 trees, looked at 2 coons, and come home.
Well, you can't beat that.
Well, it's been tough. We're so dry.
We understand. We're in the same boat you are, except our boat ain't going nowhere because it's on dry land.
Yeah, there you go. That ain't no lie.
Well, we already hit record, so I'm going to introduce you, and we'll get going if you're ready, so we don't have to keep you no longer we have to.
All right, I'm ready.
Appreciate you being on here, too.
No problem.
Yeah, we've been trying to get hooked up with you for a while, and it ain't your fault. It's been ours. I can't get Jason to do anything.
Yeah, right. Well, welcome to the Coonhound Collective podcast tonight. Tonight we have none other than Mr. Roy Rogers on tonight, and we're going to talk some dogs and find out how Mr. Roy got started and talk a little bit about his dogs and some dogs that's influenced him and people that's influenced him. So, Mr. Roy, if you don't care, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from?
Well, I'm from Murfreesboro, Arkansas, born and raised, except for the few years I was in the military. I've lived here all my life. 61 years old. I'm a widower, and been coon hunting since 1980.
Well, you've been
started
doing it a day or two.
I quit there for a few years. I got some bad health and got real bad arthritic and wasn't able to get around getting it done. So I got out there for about 10 years. Then when I got back in the shape where I could get back into hunting, I was too poor to get back into it. So it took me a few more years.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I know you hunt English dogs. Is that what you started with? How did you get started into coon hunting?
Hey, hold on just a second.
Oh.
Hey, Roy, what branch of service was you in? You told me, and I don't
The
remember.
Army.
You was in
The Army.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How long was you in there?
I was in there. I was 3 years active duty, and then I did a little 3 years of reserve.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your service.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Thank y'all.
Yeah, if you don't care,
well,
tell us how you got into it.
I was a senior in high school, and like a lot of people, I read the book where the red fern grows. And I said, I have got to do this. I want to go coon hunting. Didn't know anybody that coon hunted. Nobody in my family hunted. And I was at a high school football game on a Friday night, and I got talking to some guys, and they said, I had a classmate that they said to his daddy coon hunted. His name was Jody Stivers. And I said, well, I know Jody. I said, I need to hunt him down. I knew he'd be at the football game because both his boys was on the team. So I hunted him down that night. This was like, it's mid-October. And I said, man, I want to go coon hunting. And he had a grade red bone. And we went coon hunting that night and treed 2 coons with that dog. And that's it. I was hooked. And I said, I have got to get me some dogs. Well, I didn't know anybody that had any dogs. So I knew a guy that had some red bone and black and tan mix deer dogs. And I bought 2 puppies off of him for $50 a piece. And, they didn't amount to nothing, never did. And I didn't know what I was doing. But now this is back before, all happened pretty quick before I joined the military. But that Jody that first carried me coon hunting, he had a grade red bone there named Sandy. And he'd run and tree with other dogs fairly well, but, he was like a 2-year-old dog, and he said, I'll sell him to you for $100. I said, okay. And, I've had a lot of good dogs, but I probably had more fun with that dog than any dog I've ever had. I didn't know nothing about it. I'd take that dog out there hunting. If you hunt him 7 nights a week, he might tree you 2 coons, easy coons, but he'd tree you a toe sack full of possums. And I shoot them out to him. I probably ruined him, but he treated a possum, I'd shoot it out. But back then, man, get $3 for a good possum hide, so I was making money. And that's how I got started coon hunting right there.
That's good.
There was a lot of people that I've talked to. That's kind of the same story. They got started hunting possums back in the day. And a lot of them didn't have coons. They had more possums than they had coons.
Well, we had coons. I just didn't have a coon dog. Like I said, he might treat you 2 easy coons in a week,
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun with that dog. But then I ended up selling that dog back to Jody. And I went off in the military, and I got out in January of 85. In November of 84, I was home for Thanksgiving leave, and I was looking into the local paper, and in Leary, Texas, there's a guy had a 4-year-old registered UKC registered black and tan for sale for $400. I thought, man, I need to go check this dog out. I never had a registered dog, so me and my wife, we went to Leary, Texas, and I didn't try the dog out. Like I said, I'm still ignorant when it comes to coon hunting. And I bought the dog, brought him home, and I tell you what, I hunted that dog for 3 nights while I was home, and the dog was just jinxed. The first night I hunted him, we did okay. It didn't tree no coons. Second night I hunted him, he got caught in a trap. And then the third night I hunted him, he fell in an open well. And I had a buddy with me, and I said, you stay here at the well. And I went far from my parents' house, and went there, got a rope, went back, went down in that well and got him. And anyway, he got treated a few coons, but he wasn't nothing to brag about. But he did tree a few coons, and then I ended up getting a blue tick female from a guy, traded a old Revelation lever action 30-34. And she was the first dog I put in the company. No, let me back up. I had a grade, half red bone, half blue tick dog. That he was a coon dog, but he didn't hunt hard. He'd about 400 yards, and he'd check back in. But back then, they still had great dog hunts, and I entered him in a great dog hunt in Derricks, Arkansas. And there was two great dogs in that hunt. Of course, they had a registered hunt along with it. They had 2 great dogs in the hunt, and I won the great part of it. But my first registered dog that I put in the hunts was a blue tick female, and I ended up ruining her trying to break her off the possums. But I put her in a hunt in July of 86, and it was bad hot, bad dry. We treed 1 coon in the cast, and all the other dogs went to get minus. I won the cast and the whole hunt with 25 plus. There was 6 registered casts in that hunt, and then I was hooked on competition then. And I never won another cast with that dog. She just did. I mean, she could tree coons, but she got to treeing possums, and I ended up messing her up pretty good on that. She'd still tree coons, but when she seen you coming, she'd leave the tree. But anyway, I heard of a buddy of mine. He had a 3-year-old Walker male dog, and I'd drawed out with him in competition hunting. He was sure enough dog, and he called me up and asked me if I'd hunt him for him. I said, man, because he'd finished him out the night champion, and then he'd done with him. He'd start all over with a registered dog, and he'd put the champion dogs up for sale. And I said, I don't need to hunt that dog. I said, the way he hunts, I'll lose him. And this was in 87. And he said, you won't lose him? He said, just you can't find him, put your shirt out somewhere where you cut him loose off the road, people can't see him, he'll be laying on your shirt the next morning. Well, I went and got the dog, went to hunting him. And about 2 weeks, I went to the bank and I said, I need a home improvement loan. And they said, how much you need? I said, $1,500. They said, what are you going to do with it? I said, well, if I don't get this loan, my wife's not going to be able to live with me, and that's how the home improvement's going to be. Well, I knew the old boy. He gave me the $1,500, and I bought the dog. And then I went to winning some hunts in. That was my first. Well, he showed me what a coon dog was. It was a Walker dog named Dan, and I made him a dual grand. And I was a member of the Southwest Tree and Walker Association, which I don't even know if it's even active anymore. And in '88, I won Coonhound of the Year with him in that association. And of course, I ended up losing him. His becoming 10-year-old coyotes got him, and went through a few other Walker dogs, and I got me an English dog. I can't remember his bloodline. He was 2-year-old when I got him. I called him Buddy, and he made a sure enough good dog. I mean, I liked him. He was loud, hunted hard, and that's when I started getting in bad health. This was in like '92, and I hunted him. I got rid of him in like '96. I'd got to where I just couldn't get around anymore very well, and I sold him, didn't hunt. Well, I quit competition hunting. I never did put that dog in a competition hunt. I quit competition hunting before I completely quit hunting. And like I said, I sold him in '96. In 2004, I had several surgeries. Had a surgery in 2005. Well, finally got going good again. Well, I done missed so much work. I didn't have the money to get back into coon hunting, and I was dying to get back in it. And in 2010, there was a guy that was running the local club here, was holding a red bone sectional. That's why I'm fixing to go to that hunt, just to watch the bench show and whatever. That was on a Saturday, and it was in March of 2010. I watched that bench show, talked to some of the guys, some of the hunters, and everything. Well, the same guy that asked me to hunt the Dan dog, the Walker male I was telling you about, he had a dog he needed hunted, a little Walker female. I said, man, I ain't even got a light. He said, I got a light you can borrow. I said, all I have was a pair of old regular rubber boots. I said, I ain't even got a 22 to shoot a coon out there. Well, anyway, I went over and got her the next day, Sunday morning. I told my wife, I said, I'm fixing to go get this dog. I'm fixing to get back in the coon hunt. And I went and got her, and she'd been laid up. She's 3-year-old. And he said that, you know, she treated coons, but she wasn't the type of dog you could lay up because she looked pretty bad when you started back to hunt her. Well, I got her and hunted her. Of course, I wasn't working. That still wasn't back to work. And hunted her every night for a week before she finally showed me a coon. I borrowed my son's 22, and it's an old Ed Shoots target gun, got a big old bull barrel on it. Break your back toting that thing around. And I shot that. She finally treated a coon. I shot it out to her. I laid her up a night, took her again, she treated another, and shot it out to her. Of course, here in Arkansas, you can shoot them year-round. And this was in, like I said, this was in March. And she got to treat some coons pretty good. Got to going hard. I mean, going deep. I didn't have a tracking system or nothing. And but anyway, I ended up getting me a tracking system. Went to putting her in some hunts. Made her night champion. Made her grand night. And well, after I made her night, I said I want to get back in the English dogs. And Alan Gullett, I talked to a buddy of mine. I said, tell me somebody close that's got some good English dogs. And he told me about Alan Gullett. I got in touch with Alan, and he didn't have nothing at the time. And he said, but if I come up with something, I'll let you know. Well, he called me up. Oh, it wasn't long. But let me back up to the Walker film. I ended up making the finals of the World Hunt with her in 2012, and I had it down at Shreveport. But I ended up selling her. I went straight all English. But anyway, Alan called me up. He had a pup there that boy brought back to him. She was like 12 weeks old, I think. And because he had bred another dog, and they was going to be super stoked and all this, and this pup wasn't. And he said if I was interested in her, he'd take $350 for her. Well, I went and got her, and that was Ruby, the mother of Jewel. And, man, let me tell you something. And when she was 6 months old, I started hunting her. The sixth time I carried her out, she run and treed with the other dogs. And run and treed from then on, never trashed. She treed a couple possums, but she never did no fast game, no armadillos, no skunks, or nothing. She was just a natural.
Roy, did you say this is the mother of Jewel?
Yeah.
What was her name?
Ruby.
Ruby, that's right. Okay.
Ruby.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought her from Alan. She's about 12 weeks old. That old boy brought her back. And I tell you right now, he missed out on a great hound. I mean, she was go hard. I mean, she didn't blow out. She kind of like, well, Jewel kind of just like her. She'll go as deep as she had to, but she hunted as she went. You know, and if they was 4 coons in a 40-acre block, she'd tree all 4 of them. But if she didn't find a coon, then she's gone. But and I made a grand night out. Well, she was grand night 2, and she lived to be 12 and a half years old. I lost her in May of last year, May of 23, and I made the finals of the World Hunt. I made the finals of the World Hunt with her twice, 2014 and 2017, and she placed 12th in 2017 when they had the finals down there at Edmonton, Georgia. And I went all English after that. And I told Alan he's bred Diamond. She was out of, Ruby was out of Charlie 7 and Oakwood's Diamond. Well, I found out he bred Diamond again to Top Gun right after he won the World Hunt. And I said, man, I'd like to have a pup out of that litter. He said, they're all spoke for, Roy. And I said, well, crap. Well, anyway, he called me up. She had 5 puppies, Diamond did, and only one female. And he said, boy, backed out on this female if you want her. I said, I want her. I went and got her. She's 9 weeks old. And I still got her. I let her run around in the yard. She'll be 13 in about 30 days. And
what dog was that?
This is Daisy.
Daisy. Okay.
And yeah, she was the mother of Dolly, or is the mother of Dolly, and she'll be 13 the 26th of next month.
Daisy's the one that's the real good looking, real blocky headed, real houndy looking Jip, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, she's real houndy looking.
Yeah, I remember her.
But anyway, that day was the rocks that I built my kennel on, I guess you could say. I've always liked females better. Of course, I have had some good males, but Alan called me up one time. He said, Roy, I got a male dog here that you'd really like. And he was like 9 months old, I think, 8.5. He said, he comes from Paul Toole's dogs, and this is Rooster I'm talking about. And he said, you ought to come check this dog out. He said, got a big mouth. And he said, I've hunted him for 2 weeks. And he started just immediately, he said, running and treating with other dogs. He said, I'm not going to put a lot of time in him. He's not a performance pup. He's not a super stake pup. And he said, I told Paul I'd help him out. I said, well, all right. I said, I ain't interested in him. I said, but I know a couple of guys that might be. Been looking for a good young dog to work with. And so I told one old boy, and Alan sent him some videos of him. That boy showed me the video, and he said, "What do you think?" I said, "What does he want for him?" He said, $750. He said, "Is that too much?" I said, "No, that's not too much for a 8.5, 9-month-old dog that's running trail with other dogs." I said, "Sure, something to work with." Well, I waited about a week, called him up. I said, "You go get that." He's a blue male. I said, "You go get that blue dog?" And he said, "No." He said, "I got 2 kids wanting to play softball." And he said, "I ain't going to have time to hunt him." He said, "If I can't hunt him, I'm not going to get him." Well, I told another buddy of mine about it. And, well, I don't know Alan like you do. I said, "Man, if Alan tells you the dog will do this, that's what the dog will do." And, well, he didn't. He wouldn't go get him. Well, I called Alan up. Curiosity got to me. I said, "You still got that male dog?" I guess I let another couple of weeks rock on. And he said, "Yeah, I still got him." I said, "What's the least you'll take for him?" He said, "To you, I'll take $450. I said, "I'm going to come up there and hunt with him this weekend if you ain't got rid of him." Well, I told my buddy that wouldn't go get him. And I said, "I'm going to go up there and try that dog out. Will you care if I go with you?" I said, "I don't care." And he had a Grand Night champion Walker male dog. I always called him Digger. He called him Whitey. He said, "Care if I bring Whitey?" I said, "I don't care." And he's a good dog. I've hunted with him a bunch. Of course, he's gone now, but I had hunted with him a bunch and hunted him for the man that had him. And we went up there, and the first cut loose, Rooster got the strike and got the tree on that Grand Night dog. Looked at that coon. Cut loose again, he got the strike and tree on that Grand Night dog again. We looked at that coon. Third tree, the Grand Night got the tree on him, but we didn't look at that coon. Well, I was leading him back, and I was kind of hanging back. And my buddy, his name's Mike Davis, he said, "Roy, you going to get that dog?" I said, "Well, I'm thinking on it." He said, "I brought some money. If you don't get him, I'm going to." I said, "You had your chance." I said, "I'm fixing to take the dog home, but I'm going to see if Alan let me take him home hunting before I pay him." And I told Alan, I said, "Let me pay you half now. Let me take him home and hunt him with Ruby and Daisy and see how he does. And if I like him, I'll send you the rest of the money." He said, "Okay." Brought him home, hunted him. First night hunted him with Ruby, running treat on every track. Hunted him with Daisy next night, running treat on every track. I said, "I'm going to take you, baby." He'd never been in the woods by himself. So I took him out by himself. He didn't go a good hunt. I mean, he'd get out you like 75, 80 yards, and here he'd be back. I just eased along, and I walked him over a coon. He trailed and treated, had it, shot it out to him. Next night, I carried him again. He got out there a little further. I didn't have to walk. He struck a coon, went a little way, treated. I shot that coon out to him. I called Alan. I said, "You'll have a check in the mail tomorrow." And so that's when I got Rooster, and he'll be 10 April, and he still goes as hard as he's ever went. And when I singled him off, like I said, Alan had never singled him off hunting with other dogs, and I hunted him with my 2 females. He never showed no signs of independence. I thought, well, he may not be as independent as Ruby and Daisy. So when I singled him off, that brought it out of him. I carried him to the Winter Classic. This was in 2019, I think it was. Yeah, and cut him loose. He won his cast for 475, placed 6th in the register division on Friday night, and wasn't with a dog all night long. I said, he's got some independence. And after that, he's 100% independent. He will not do nothing with another dog. If he's working a track and a dog comes in there and puts in with him, he'll quit it and go on. Now, if he's treed and a dog backs him on a tree, he's fine. He'll stay there all night long. But you can turn loose and they tree a coon 50 yards in front of you. In front of you. He will not tree with them. If they beat him on a tree, he will not back.
Did he?
And that gets
So
everybody.
Roy, did he just up and Just out of the blue, just up and decided to be a loner?
Yeah, just out of the blue. Like I said, when I got it from Alan had never hunted him by himself.
Wow.
And I hunted him well, every time I hunted him with my females before I singled him off, he'd run the tree with them. And then I singled him off, and it's like, hey, this is how I want to do it. I mean, I carried him to Winter Classic here, and he never was with a dog all night long. Only time he's with a dog when you cut him loose.
I'll be darned.
And he's been like that ever since. And he's just gotten worse as age, you know, he just quit doing anything with another dog, just natural. And so.
Yeah. Did you may have said what he was out of, and I missed it earlier.
He comes from Paul Toole stuff up at Paragould, Arkansas. He's Charlie 7 on top. He goes back to Charlie 7. He's second. Charlie 7 is, let me get this right. Did you ever hear of the Timber Crushing Toad, I think it was?
Yeah, uh-huh.
I think he was up in Missouri, wasn't he? Okay, his daddy is regular out of Toad, and Toad was out of Charlie 7. And then, so he's Charlie 7, third generation Charlie 7 on top, and he's out. His mama was out of Super Scoop. But Paul, he didn't competition hunt, and his daddy died 2 years old from coon dog paralysis. And I think he bred his mama a few more times, but they never was competition hunting. Paul never did competition hunting his dog.
Wow.
And the Rooster, he's 100% independent. And then so Daisy come in heat, and I took her to Seth Ish when he had a hard time crow, and bred Daisy, and got one puppy, and that was Dolly. And I started hunting Dolly when she was 6 months old, and she went hunting from the word go. Of course, I always took her for walks. You know, when she was 7 weeks old, I took her for a mile walk. That was one tired little puppy when we got back to the truck. But anyway, I would hunt her. You know, I'd take her with my old dog. She'd leave out and would not stay with those older dogs. The first 2 coons that little heifer ever saw, the older dogs, they might tree 600 yards north, she'd be 800 yards south. Totally opposite direction. I would go catch her, get her caught, and lead her to the tree, just so I could show her what a coon was. Because I don't know what it is about my dogs. They will not bark at a cage coon. They will not do it. Daisy, when I started training her, I said, well, I'm going to try a cage coon. Turned it loose. She was 9.5 months old. Turned it loose. She sat there and watched it run off and looked up at me like, what do you want me to do with that? And I thought, man, this don't look good. But, hey, at 11 months, I won my first competition hunt with her, 11 months old. And she never would look at a cage coon. Still won't today. Ruby never did. Rooster won't. But anyway, Dolly, I'd get her caught, lead her to the other dog, shoot the coon out just so she could see what a coon was. Hang it up, wouldn't pay it no attention, nothing. I thought, man, why? Well, she was, I always try to, if I raise and train them or work with them, if I raise them, I'll work with them till they're about 16 months old if they're showing me something. She was 14 months old. I said, girl, you have got to start. The only reason I was hanging on to her is she'd go hunting. She never opened her mouth. I said, she ain't running everything in the woods, so maybe she'll look up and do something one of these nights. Well, I carried her with Ruby. Ruby treed, and while I was shining the tree, Dolly come in there. And that's something she had never done. She'd never come into the tree when other dogs was treed. And she wrapped up on the tree. I couldn't get her to bark. It was a den tree. Couldn't get her to bark, nothing. I said, well, crap. I said, at least she did come in here and rear up on the tree. Well, I recut them. Went about Oh, didn't go 150 yards maybe. Ruby struck, and dang if Dolly didn't open up. I said, man, look at here. She's going to do something. They did. They went maybe another 100, 150 yards. Dolly sat down and went to tree. Ruby wouldn't tree him. I mean, when that pup went to tree, and well, I say pup, she's 14 months old. I nearly broke and run to her. Well, Ruby sat down, treed about 75 yards further. And I just stopped and listened. I said, I'm going to see what this pup will do. Old Dolly sat there and never missed a bark. Went in there. Dolly didn't have the coon. I laced Dolly up where she could get on the tree. And because she's up on that thing, toenails dug in. And I said, well, I went on to Ruby. And when Ruby had the coon, and that pup, the whole time I went to Ruby, shined the tree, and read Ruby back to her tree, she never missed a bark. Well, I called it a night. It was a quick night. I said, I'm calling it a night. Ended on a good note. The next night, I carried her with her mom, Daisy. And it couldn't have happened any better. Cut loose, they didn't go 100 yards. It struck. Hot track, didn't go 100 yards, set down tree. That pup was treeing her butt off. Had the coon, shot it out. I recut. She split off from her mama. And Daisy ended up treating another coon. Dolly treated the tree. I said, by golly, you want to be by yourself? I'm going to hunt you by yourself. I went to another spot, left Daisy in the box, cut Dolly loose. She went in there about 90 yards, struck, trailed about 300 yards, sat down the tree, had the coon. I went in there and shot that coon out to her, and she never looked back. She went from doing nothing and 2 nights treating coons by herself. And she was 100% independent. She would not be with another dog. If she treated first, they could come back her, cover her. She'd stay all night long. But she would not cover them. And that was a natural deal with her. So I don't know what it is about my line of dogs, but I don't know if it's because I hunt them by themselves so much, but they're 100% into Jewel. I bred Ruby to my rooster dog and got Jewel's litter. And when I started putting Jewel in the hunts, she'd cover a dog in a minute. And I thought, man, she's not going to have no independence at all. I went to hunting her by herself a lot. Now, she won't. If a dog covers her on a tree, she'll stay treed all night long. The only way she's going to be treated with another dog, if you cut loose and they strike it right in front of your face and just go a little ways from the tree. But I hate bucket coons. Feeder buckets with her because most of the time she will not back. If she's kind of like her daddy. If they beat her on the tree, she won't tree with them. She'll go and find her another. So all my dogs, pretty much, you gonna live or die on what they do.
That's good. And I was
course,
sitting there thinking
Jewel,
when you was talking about them not barking at a caged coon, I was sitting there thinking the whole time I was wondering how many of them dogs would have got passed on by a lot of other hunters. You know, they'd have sent them down the road. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, just like Dolly, I've told people, we're just like Cole that handled Dolly for me a lot in the competition. No, you met Cole. I told him, I said, you would have kept Dolly. I said, there ain't a hunter I know would have held on to her as long as I did. I said, she wouldn't do nothing. I said, she'd go hunting. She was not under your feet. You cut her loose, she's gone. And 9 times out of 10, she's the last dog you got back. Other dogs after treeing coons, she might be 1,000 yards. Doing what? I don't know. She never barked. So, but when she went treeing coons, buddy, she made a coon dog. And I guess I've done a lot of winning with her. And Jewel, I tell you what, Jewel is a nice hound. Hunts hard, hunts as she goes deep if she has to. But man, let me tell you something. She's like her mama. If there's 4 coons in a 40-acre box, she'll tree every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Jewel, she placed 10th in the world hunt, was world champion in English in 23. So, and she was she was 20 coonhound, the English coonhound of the year last year at 5-star outstanding. The United English Association's got going on, that 5-star hunt challenge they got.
Yep.
And, Jewel won that last year.
She won in the world? What'd you say she placed in the world?
She won 10th. She placed 10th in the World Championship in 23.
That's right, 10th.
World champion English.
That's right. Yeah, 10th. Yeah, that's awesome.
Of course, Dolly, she was Queen of Hunting English days in 22, and then she won that invitational, that championship, that invitational hunt that they have at English days. She won it in 23.
Well,
and she made the finals of the World Hunt in 2020.
You encouraged me a little bit. I got a pup here that's about 12 or 13 months old that's don't want to be with another dog, just runs and runs and runs and runs, but she ain't treeing yet.
Well, that Dolly wasn't doing nothing. The only reason I knew she could bark, because she barked the pen sometimes. Dolly's one of them type you didn't know she was out there, But all the times I'd hunt her, I was hunting her with Rooster, Ruby, Daisy. I was taking her nearly every time I went. She was the only young dog I had. And she never barked. Like I said, though, she wouldn't be around you. Like I said, she may be 1,000 yards off in there somewhere. She wasn't scared of the dark, but when she finally decided she wanted to tree coons, she went treeing coons.
Yeah. So, I guess, do you have another dog besides Jewel, or is that the last one?
No, I've got 2 males here that Radar. Now, he's 4-year-old, but he kind of got put on the back burner. I sold him to Cole. He's out of Rooster and Daisy. I sold him to Cole when he was a winning age pup. And he started almost immediately, but there was something peculiar about the dog. Now, I don't know what happened, and I'm not going to say it on this, but every time he went down to the dog pen, the dog acted like he was scared. When I got him back from Cole quit hunting, because he got to hunting dogs for some guys in the bigger PKC hunts. And but the dog was treeing coons when he was 8 months old. He'd split tree and hold pressure and have a coon. Now, he didn't hunt real good. Most of the time, this would happen. Dog would strike, he'd go put in with them, and then he'd do his thing. But the dog, every time you go down the dog pen, he acted like he's scared to death. I don't know. He'd go to the back of the pen and, car up. And if you approached him, he'd pee all over himself. This was after I got him back from Cole. Something's going on here. Because Cole got to talking about he wouldn't go hunting. And every time I went with him, the dog would go hunting when he was young. But anyway, Cole, he's going to get rid of him. So I want him back, because I'd seen what he'd done, what he could do. And when I got him from Cole, he would not go hunting. Of course, he'd been laid up a while, and he wouldn't. But, let's see, 1.5 years old, I guess. Coming 2, something like that. But like I said, Cole would quit hunting. And I just got to put him with my dogs, got him out of that shyness. Now he's all over you. But, man, he went to just night after night. I just carried him night after night. And finally, he went to clicking. And now he's independent. Now he will back one of my dogs, but he won't back anybody else. But I haven't pushed him in the hunts a whole lot, because I'm still pushing Jewel and Dolly. As long as I got a female that's winning, as much as they's winning, it's hard to leave them sitting at the pen.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting at the house.
How old's Radar?
And he's 4.
4.
He turned 4 August. This past August, he turned 4. But like I said, his age don't match his experience. He's fine now, but, you got a 2-year-old dog, to me, they ought to be doing pretty good. And but he wouldn't, because he'd been laid up, not hunted. But I got him coming on, and I'm going to push. He's a night champion, got 2 wins toward Grand Night. I'm going to push him next year. And if we ever get some rain and get some cool weather, I'm fixing to put it on him this winter. But and he's got a big mouth. He's accurate. Not trashy in any way. Hunts hard and will get deep. I mean, we'll get deep in a minute. I mean, he's like his daddy. He's gonna get in there. And then now I've got Hawk. He's a red male out of Dolly and Rooster, and he turned 3 yesterday, October 28th. And I raised and got him started, and I had some minute, old boy from Tommy Gilmer from Alabama. He had talked to Shane Cannon, and Shane told him that I might have something I'd get rid of. Well, he called me up, and I said, I've got a young male out here. He's about a year old. I said, he's doing fair. I said, I ain't hunting him near like he needs to be hunted for a year-old dog. I said, but he has treated a few coons. I said, I just don't know if I want to sell him. And he said, well, if you ever decide to, let me know. I don't know. A week went by, I guess. Well, he called me back. You ever make your mind up on that young male? I said, I'll tell you what, Tommy, if you want him, come get him. Take him to Alabama, hunt him. If you decide you want him, you send me the money. If you don't, I'll come get the dog. Or you can bring him back, whatever you want to do. He said, no. He said, I'm going to take your word for it. If he's doing what you say he's doing, I'm going to pay you, and he'll be mine when I leave her. I said, okay. Well, he got him. Dog went doing pretty good for him, but he's not a competition hunter, and he don't hunt in summertime. So Hawk got hunted through the winter months pretty good, but when it started getting warm weather, that's it. He didn't get hunted at all until it got cold weather again. So, but anyway, when I got, of course, you know the luck I had with Dolly breeding to Loner. She, didn't have the puppies and had her spayed when he found out. And this, Dolly was doing fine. She was doing great. I mean, I'm thinking, well, in about 10 more days, I'll start hunting her and get her ready for the zone. And it'd been a week after her surgery. That boy called me that had Hawk, and he said, Roy, why don't you come get this dog? He said, I'll give him back to you. He said, he repairs fiber optic wire, and he said, I've got a job coming up, 700 miles of fiber optic wire. He said, I'm not going to be able to hunt this dog. He said, I'm going to be gone a lot. He said, come and get him. I said, well, I'll give you money back. He said, since you ain't going to be able to get no puppies, any more puppies out of Dolly, he said, come and get him. And I said, I'll give you money back. He said, no, just come get him. Well, he gave him back to me. And I've been going with him pretty good. And you could tell he'd been laid up. When I got him, well, when did this happen with Dolly? But anyway, that night, he'd been laid up since March. But anyway, that night when I got back with him about 2 o'clock in the morning, I went to put him in the pen down there, and she was laying there in the back of the pen. And that incision had opened up. Her guts was hanging out about 6-8 inches. And laying her dead. And you talk about hitting the ground, man.
Yeah, that's bad deal.
I don't know what happened. I talked to the vet. He said the only thing he can figure, because he's done surgeries on my dog before. And he's the only thing that he can figure, she got to gnawing at it and opened herself up. And I told him right then, I said, from now on, I don't care. And the incision wasn't about 4 inches long. I said, from now on, I don't care if it's a ½ inch. I want my dog stapled, no stitches, stapled. And but anyway, but now old Hawk's doing pretty good. Last time he's wanting to tree a possum or two, but he's not bad. And the last time I hunted him, I made 4 trees with him, looked at 3 coons and a possum. And what I'm really like, he reminds me a lot of Dolly. He does a lot of things Dolly did. I mean, when Dolly was fired up, you'd get her off of a tree. She was constantly winding, rearing up in the air. And I think that's how she treated a lot of her coons, winding them. That's how he's doing. You'd be leading her through the woods, she'd rearing up on every tree, checking it out. He does the same thing. And the way he barks, his motions on the tree, the first night I hunted him when I got him back, I walked in there and I seen him making those same motions. I said, just like Dolly. He does the same motion, kind of bobs his head a little bit. And he reminds me a lot of Dolly. Only thing, he got a lot bigger mouth. He's got a mouth. Now, of all my dogs, all my dogs got pretty good mouths, but man, when he comes on a tree, it gives me goosebumps. Now when he's turned over, steady chopping, he's above average, but his locate is what is loud. He is extra loud when he comes on a tree. So I've got some young stuff coming. It's just whether or not I can hold up long enough to hunt them. I might find another handler, cold quit. So, but I'm still going some. I ain't hunting hard because it's dry. But I'm still going a couple nights a week.
We haven't been hunting much either because of this dry weather. That hawk dog, getting your hands on him, that's been a blessing for you to be able to get one out of Dolly like that.
Yeah. Well, I done some checking. I know where there's a female that's here local that I sold to a guy, and he had her treeing last winter. Hadn't hunted her since. And he don't hunt in the summertime much. And he said he'd sell her back to me. I said, well, and then when this guy called, said he'd give me Hawk back, I knew, because like I said, I started Hawk. I said, well, I'll just get him. Because he hadn't been laid up for a year, And it just amazes me at the dogs. People get puppies and they won't hunt them. They won't give them a chance. And that's what's happened to a lot of that's what happened to a lot of the dogs, that puppies out of Rooster and Dolly. Same thing out of Rooster and Ruby and Rooster and Daisy. They just don't get a chance. Now, the one I had, reason I got Radar back off Cole, because he's going to get rid of him and he'd quit hunting him. The one I kept out of that litter got run over. He's 9 months old, and he was running a tree. Now, he hadn't got splitting off by himself yet, but and what happened, where I cut loose at, there's a highway, and it's not a major highway, about a mile from where I cut loose. And they had started toward that highway, well, then they turned and come back. Well, I drove back. Well, there's a place there I lose signal on them. Driving back around, when I got around there, that puppy headed back toward the highway. And when I got around there, he was laying in the highway dead. And he was fixing like a dog. Now, there's a female that I've tried to get back that's a litter mate to Radar. And that boy don't competition hunt. And I started this dog, and I let him talk me out of her. And they say she's a coon dog, but I haven't hunted with her since he got her. And he told me to help keep my stuff, what line I'm working with, going. There is a brother to Jewel in Tennessee. A guy named Larry Limbo has him. And now he's a coon dog. And I kind of worked with him some before for a buddy of mine, and then my buddy sold him to him. I'm going to breed half brother to half sister. They're going to let me breed them. And I'll be doubling up on Rooster, but I'll have Ruby on the top and Daisy on the bottom. And, of course, I don't mind. I like what Rooster throws. Of course, they may be so darn independent they be idiots. I don't know. But doubling up on him. But we're gonna try it. If I'm still alive and kicking.
Breeding Rooster to what female?
I know I'm gonna take a male out of. I'm gonna take a male dog out of Rooster, and Ruby is a brother to Jewel, and I'm gonna breed to a female that's a brother to Radar, which is out of Rooster and Daisy.
Gotcha.
So I'll be doubling up on Rooster.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what happens. I don't know,
Well, you said they might be too independent and crazy You like them alone, Roy, or do you?
I
How
like
do
a
you?
dog. I'm kind of like I like Ruby. Daisy and Ruby wasn't 100% independent. Now Daisy's a little more independent than Ruby. Ruby, if you gotten a lot of coons, she'd get some by herself and get some of yours too. I remember I was in Hounds, Arkansas State Championship 2015, I believe it was. It was either 15 or 16 because I won Grand Night both nights there, 1 week those years. It was on Friday night hunt, Grand Night cast. We cut loose, and like I said, Ruby didn't blow out. She's hunted as she goes, and had a heck of a nose on her. We cut loose, and 3 dogs blowed out of there. Well, she got third strike, and the 2 dogs that struck in, gosh, they was 500 yards in there just by the time you got your light turned off. And she got third strike, 100 yards to our right. The other dog struck in there with them other dogs for 25. Ruby threes, go over to her. She's got a coon, puff her up. Lead her out there, cut her loose. She goes about 200 yards, strikes a coon, goes a little ways, trees, she got another coon. I cut her loose, she gets in there with them, and I get second tree on her coon. That's the kind of dog she was. We cut loose from that tree. I think I had second strike. 150 yards from her, she sets down a tree, she's got another coon. I turn her loose again, strike back in for 25. I'm thinking she's on the same tree. And that's the type of dog she was. She knew if there was more than one coon in there. I thought she was on the same tree. I said, well, heck, tree her. Started over, it wasn't the same tree. She was 3 trees over and had another coon. I mean, that's the type of dog she was. I remember I hunted her place where I hunt quite a bit, and leaves us off. She's about 500 yards. She struck, treed, went in there to her. She had a coon. I cut her loose. She didn't go 50 yards. I opened up about 3 times, sat down, had another coon. I cut her loose. She went out there a little way, struck, went left-handed, sat down, treed, had another coon. Cut her loose again. She didn't go 50 yards. I said, you're going to end up right back where you started from, because she ain't done nothing but made a circle. She 4 trees, 4 coons. You could have stood one spot, shined all 4 trees.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
I mean, and Jewel's the same way. Jewel is the same way.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say she took after her mama, Jewel did, didn't she?
Yeah, yep, she did. She sure did. And Jewel's a little better, and Ruby had a tough time. Like as dry as it is, Ruby'd have a little bit of tough time. She still get coons tree, but it took her, you could tell it was hard on her. But Jewel's a little better in the dry weather, but both of them were good in water. You put them in flooded timber, if your dog couldn't do it, tree coons and 6 inches of water everywhere, they'd kill you. And that's why I say Jewel's the same way. In the first round of the World Hunt Finals last year, we cut loose on a lane between the soybean field on the right side and the cornfield on the left side, a tree line between them. We cut loose on a bush hog lane. I ended up with last strike. Yeah, I had last strike. Them other 3 dogs struck in there, I bet you they 600 yards. And as soon as we cut loose, them dogs just race-horsed out of there. Jewel went maybe 75 yards, put on the brakes, and went to that wood line. And no, I take it back. I had first strike. I struck her, but their dog struck in there and got trees. We're going to their dog. We would go by Ruby. She's working on that wood line, and she falls tree. Well, I tree her. We go ahead and handle her. She ain't 100 yards from the truck. And them dogs are 600 yards in there. Had a coon. One had a den tree. The other 2 had a coon. We come back to Jewel. She's got a coon. The truck's sitting right there. And of course, they've done a recut, and I'm thinking, now I've got a recut on this tree line, and their dogs have done been up through here. I recut her, and she trees another coon behind them. So that's the one she treed on that power line. Y'all heard? I told you about that. Treated on that metal.
Tell us that story,
Roy.
Yeah, tell that story.
I wished I took my camera out and videoed. The judge videoed it, but it's real quick. And it's, I don't know on my phone, off his phone, it's real small. You can't hardly tell nothing. But she had struck back in and was working a bad track. And one old boy, he had treated his dog. She didn't stay. And she was working in a soybean field, on the edges of the soybean field. And they wasn't real thick. Like, I don't know, they didn't get a lot of rain or what, but the soybeans wasn't thick. Like, usually waist deep and dog can't get through them. But she sat down a tree. And I thought, what in the world? And I said, I'm looking at my garden. I said, there ain't no trees out there. And I said, what is she treating? And I didn't tree her for a little while. And I told the judge, I said, heck with it, tree her. I said, she's treated. I said, I don't know what. I thought, well, maybe she's in a hole and she just ain't got her head down in it. I didn't know what was going on because I had that bird's eye view and there was no trees out there. We broke out on that power line. It's a tree on the first set of poles where we come out. I said, oh, man. I said, I was leading the cast. I said, I'm going to lose my points right here. Went up there, and that coon, she was reared up on the ladder of that pole. Well, it's not like a pole, like an Eiffel tire thing. And she's reared up on that ladder, just treeing like she's on a tree. About 40 foot up, sitting on a piece of angle iron, set the coons. And I tell you what, I was a nervous wreck. When I walked out there and seen, I thought, man, I'm going to lose my points right here. And then, but she had it, and she got struck in again, but the hunt run out before she got treed again.
Would you have lost the cast if she hadn't had that coon there?
I lost the cast. She hadn't had that coon.
I'll be darned.
Because there was a Walker male dog in the cast that treated another coon. And but they had all took some minus, but he'd beat me. I'd have lost the cast if that coon hadn't been there.
I'll bet.
And I thought there ain't no coon here. And looked up and just sitting right about 40 foot up on a piece of angle iron.
That's pretty wild there for sure.
But now that second round is where she should have advanced, on to the third round. That was my fault. Boy, we had a good hunt, had a good cast. Of course, in the second round, it's all 3-dog cast. I drawed the Walker male dog. It ended up finishing third overall, and I drawed a red bone. And man, we cut loose, and right off the bat, Jewel and that Walker dog treed together. It's quick. Had a coon. Red bone treed by himself. Had a coon. And then the Walker male dog and Jewel, they was kind of working the track together, but they wasn't together. And the red bone, he'd got pretty deep. And the Walker dog trees, go in there and he's got a kitten. I mean, a little kitten. Jewel's out there working the track 50 yards. She wouldn't go in there. Of course, I didn't want her in there after we got in there shining the tree, but sitting there waiting for 3 minutes, I said, Jewel, get you some of it. Just get you some of it. You're right there. No. I thought, well, he ain't got it. If she won't back him. When there he had a kitten cut loose, he treated another kitten, and she would not back him. She went on trees, and I guess she had to sow because it was a big coon. But we got down to the red bone, he had treated another coon. So I'm sucking hind tit here now. I'm getting my butt beat by a red bone and this Walker male. I said, dang, Jewel. But I thought, well, I've got enough points here. I can squeeze into that top 20. I'm just going to be careful here. Well, anyway, I mean, I wasn't so far behind I couldn't beat them. Should have beat them. But our last cut loose, we had like 20 minutes. And it's just unreal at the what ifs. There's so many people out there that's afraid to strike their dog before the minute's up. The red bone went to opening up. Guy wouldn't strike him. He opened up 5 or 6 times. Jewel opened up one time. I struck her. And Judge put me down for 100. And, of course, Redbone shut up, Jewel shut up, and that old boy with the Walker Mail dog, he struck under the minute, Judge. I said, there ain't nothing wrong with striking a dog under the minute. She ain't babbling. You've hunted with her all night. I said, you going to call one bark babbling. Well, she ain't opening now. I said, she's not a babber. And the minute still ain't up. The Redbones went back to opening up. And he still won't strike the dog. Now, get this. The Walker dog opens up. Of course, the minute's ended now. He strikes the dog for second strike. Redbone opens up again. He strikes Redbone for third strike. And they were in a mess. I mean, treetops, ball, every time you take a step, you ball up to your knees. And, boy, Jewel halfway come on a tree. She had split off. The Redbone and Walker Mail dog, they was working a track together. Jewel had shut up. When she opened up again, she was about 100, 125 yards deeper. And that's when she come on that tree. And I thought, man, that ain't right. And I said, she's in the treetop. I just didn't like the way she come on it. And I mean, she's treeing. Now think about it. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty on this hunt. And I thought, man, if she's in the treetop and I lose my points, I won't get in the top 20. I said, heck with it. I treat her. Now, I probably waited 40 seconds or so close to a minute before I treat her. I treat her. And I said, girl, if you got a coon, we got it. I said, there ain't neither one of these dogs going to go in there and back you. I said, you're going to have a coon. I'll be daggone if that Walker dog didn't back her with, he got in there right before the 2 minutes was up. I'm thinking, man, if I can just get the 2 minutes out of the way. I think 20 seconds of the 2 minutes was left. He come on the tree and old boy treated him. And got in there and she had a coon. He won the cast for 5 1/4. I had 500. If he could have treated, if the 2 minute would have got up by and he treated for 25, I'd have won the cast. If I'd have treated her 40 seconds sooner, the 2 minute would have been gone before he got there. I'd have won it. Or if the guy with the Redbone would have struck his dog for second strike, Walker would have had third strike. We'd have tied, and I'd have beat him on the tiebreaker. And
yeah, that's
so there's three what ifs right there.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh, I was sick going back to truck. I thought, man, if and all it was, I just didn't like the way she come on. I was afraid she's gonna be hung up in a treetop, or treed in a treetop. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna hold back, let the hunt run out, and be done with it. But I went on and treated her, and she had a coon. But I couldn't believe that Walker went heading back. Every tree we made, every dog the Redbone made, every tree the Redbone made, every tree the Walker made, every tree Jewel made, we looked at coons. We looked at a coon. And I don't know how many coons we treated. But anyway, I mean, I had 500. That dog had 525. And, I mean, we by ourselves most of the night. The Redbone had 375, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we treated a lot of coons. Every dog was a good dog. But we hadn't backed all night long. And that dog went and backed her. I mean, he covered 100, 125 yards. But if he hadn't have backed her, I'd have won the cast. If I'd have treated her 40 seconds sooner, I'd have won the cast. If the 2 minute would have got by before, then he'd have had treated in for 25, I'd have won the cast. If the Redbone would have struck for second strike, I'd have won the cast. I mean, or if she'd have just backed him on one of them kittens, I'd have won the cast. It's just one of them things, everything fell into place. It just didn't quite fall like it should have.
Yeah, sometimes you got to have a little break to help you out there, too.
Got to have a break.
Well, I don't know if Brett's got, and we've already been at it for over an hour, and I think Brett told you about an hour, and I want to respect your time, but I've got one question, and I don't know if Brett's got any questions at all, but I've got one question, and I've been wanting to know since we started this podcast.
I bet I know what it is, but go ahead. It's probably the same question I got wrote down.
What? No, it's not.
And look,
Well, y'all ask both of them. I
We
ain't
will.
doing nothing.
Is it the same question?
Yeah, it's the same question.
Yeah, I knew it was because I got it.
Well, you seem to be pretty successful right in the beginning, hunting these Walker dogs that you had. You got in the world finals with them and stuff like that. What in the world made you go from wanting or not hunting a Walker dog to wanting to hunt English dogs? What was it about the English breed that drawed you to it?
Well, I had that English male before I got bad sick, and I really liked him. I liked the way he hunted.
Was it Buddy?
And
The one you the one you called Buddy?
yeah, Buddy.
Yeah.
Buddy. And he was nearly solid white. He had calico ears. I think he had one big spot on the root of his tail where it connected to his butt. But other than that, he was real light ticked. And I mean, I couldn't even begin to tell you what bloodline he was. But I liked the way he went. He hunted hard. He was loud. Of course, I know they ain't all like that. But to me, I've had some good walker dogs in the past. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've had some good walkers. But especially the females, the English breed, they seem more personable. You know, they like being around you. I'll put it that way. You know, I've had walker dogs. They could have cared less what you was doing. You know, turn them loose. Yeah, they'd go tree coons, but they didn't act like they was happy to see you or not. You know, and my English dogs, or all the English dogs I've had, they they seem to want to please you more. But that Walker male, English male dog I had back in the mid-90s, he struck a chord with me. I said, and that's the only English dog I'd ever had, and hadn't had hunted with many, because there's not many English dogs down here. And I said, I like this breed. And of course, I got back into that Walker female because of the opportunity I had. But when I got back on my feet good, I said, I'm going all English. And I've been all English ever since 2012, I guess.
Did the Buddy dog? Did you say you comp hunted him or no? What did you tell?
I never did put him in a competition hunt. That's when I done getting down, and I wasn't gonna be able to keep up. Yeah. I just take him, me and him, and he'd go. I mean, but he'd stay till I got there.
I like the I like the fact that dog's kind of the one that kind of led you toward the English dogs, but he's a dog that you ain't done any never done any winning with.
I never put him in a competition hunt.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed him. He was a coon dog. I mean, he did not. Well, before I got rid, I still had one of my Walker male dogs. His name was Ball. I didn't keep him long. He was a nice hound. Only thing bad about him, he'd catch a skunk, and you never knew he caught it. He'd tree, you go in there and he smelled like a skunk. He never opened up on him. Well, this English Buddy, he was doing real well. You know, I singled him off because I said I got him when he's 2. He might not have been 2. But I got to hunt him pretty hard there, and he got to doing real good. And I singled him off, and I put him with that. Well, no, I hadn't singled him off. He caught a skunk. That Walker dog caught a skunk. And that English dog was there with him, and he had never trashed. And I tell you what, I like to run my wife out of the house that night. I waited in there and I grabbed that skunk, and I went to beating dogs. The English dog never touched another skunk. He never even would go with that Walker dog anymore. I got rid of the Walker dog because he'd still catch a skunk. And as good a coon dog as you could ask for. Hunt hard, hunt deep, good mouth, big, good-looking hound. But he'd catch a skunk. Then when I got rid of him, all I had was Buddy. And it's just me and him. And then I got to getting down. And, well, I got him in like 92. And I got rid of him in 96. So, and I tell you what, that dog could tree a coon. The only thing other than him catching that Walker dog catching that skunk, and I know he didn't catch it, he treed a yellow house cat one night. And I reckon that's the only thing that dog ever. He never treated a possum, never ran no fast game. But he treed one night, and I walked in there, and I said, "Them eyes just don't look right." And he had a big yellow house cat out in the middle of a oak bottom. And that's the only time he ever trashed. But man, I tell you what, I like the way that dog treed. I mean, there was just something about him. I liked his look, liked the way he's built. And I said, when I got rid of him, when I got to want to get back in, I said, I'm going to go all English when I first chance I get. And I sold a little Walker female that I made the finals with in 2012. And after Ruby got going, and I had Daisy, had her going. I said, I'm going to get little Walker female, and I'm going all English.
Well, that wasn't exactly what I thought you was going to say, but that's pretty interesting. Just because
what'd you think?
Well, I didn't think it would be because they just seem to please you, but I do see that because I'm kind of like you. I've had my share of different breeds of dogs, but
I knew it was going to be a trash deal right out the gate. No, I'm teasing.
But yeah, I've had a few Walker dogs in particular that they didn't care if you petted them on the head or what. They just don't care.
But I've had some good Walker dogs, and I ain't got nothing against the Walker dog, but I like beating a Walker dog when I can.
Yeah,
I like beating a Walker dog too.
Yeah, but I like beating a Walker dog. But I tell you what, I've had some good ones, and there's some mighty fine ones out there. But if a man get these English dogs, I don't know. They just something about them. The ones I've had. Now, my male dogs, they can be hard-headed. And that just, I think that's just being a male, though. I know Rooster can be hard-headed.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a male dog here that's pretty hard-headed himself. I don't know where it comes from, but he's pretty hard-headed for sure. But hopefully, what are you pointing at me for?
Well, I was just sitting here thinking if he was talking about them male dogs of his being hard-headed, they're bred real similar. I mean, they got some Charlie 7 blood in them. I mean,
yeah.
I ain't saying that's what it is, but you think
I like
it could?
That Charlie 7 stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, every dog I've got down here, well, Daisy don't. Of course, she goes back. Charlie 7 was Wilcox. And she's out of Top Gun. But Rooster, Radar, Jewel, of course, Ruby, Dolly, they all had Charlie 7 in them, somewhere in a 3-generation pedigree.
Yeah, my male dog's got him a couple of times in his I think it's 3-generation, isn't it?
Top and bottom.
Top and bottom.
And we'll see Radar's got it top, or not Radar, Jewel's got it top and bottom.
Yeah.
And but now Dolly, she was the best blooded dog I had on the place as far as looking at pedigrees. Rooster, you look at his pedigree until the Timber Crust and Toad and the Charlie 7 and Super Scoop. Well, now he does go back. I think Gale Flyers and stuff. Oh, what's that dog's name?
Rawhide. Or you mean Flyers?
No.
You talking about Flyers, Wildfire and?
Yeah. Golly bum. But no. The guy Gale Flyer.
Yeah, Flyers, Wildfire. He had.
With a Wild Rain or something like. Almost got the biggest pedigree out, but he does go back to Gale Flyer stuff.
Through Super Scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the dog's name, but.
Well, I got it on the tip of my tongue.
But anyway, but I don't know. The English dogs, I just like their hooks. I like their color. I'd rather have a black and white one of all things. I'd like to have one look more like a Walker dog than I would an English dog. I've always wanted a black and white one, and I can't never seem to get one.
Well,
But now between the blues and the reds, I've had better luck with the reds.
Yeah.
My blues are good dogs, but I've never had a blue female.
Well,
I had one that was I bred Rooster to, what's his name? In the northern part of the state here. His female. He won English days a few years back with a dog named Jules, but this dog's name was Dolly.
And he
bred
lives there
Rooster,
in Arkansas?
yeah, he lives in the northwest corner up there. Golly bum. Fox. His last name's Fox.
Cody?
Cody Fox, that's it.
Yeah.
He had a female named Dolly. And bred Rooster to her. And I got a blue female out of that. She had just getting started doing good. I mean, treeing some, but she was really hunting good, working the track good. And I had her out with Jewel one night, buddy, man. He said, "Why don't you come down here on the deer leash, meet me down here?" He said, "I've got coons all over my cameras." And I said, "All right." And good wood. And we cut loose, and they split up. And that little blue female, she was working the track around the edge of a old clear cut. And the guy felt bad. I heard all hell break loose. And first thing I thought was coyotes, because we are covered up with coyotes around here. And he said, "Jump in the truck." He said, "Go back." We was about 100 yards from the truck, and he don't get around there as good as I do. He said, "Go to the truck, go back to where we come in, that first right, take you right to it." I got down there, there was a Rottweiler and a Bull Mastiff had her scratched out. Both of them male dogs. She was a 9-month-old female puppy, and they killed her.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
Yeah. And of course, when my headlights hit them, they took off. But my buddy, he did get the Bull Mastiff, but he never did see the Rottweiler again.
Wow, that's a bad deal there, for sure.
But yeah, that made me sick, boy. Yeah, they had her stretched out, done had her ripped wide open.
Mm.
And boy, I tell you, I've had now that blue female there. Now that female, I tell you, that old boy don't competition hunt. That's a sister to Radar that I'm fixing to breed to the brother to Jewel, if he still let me. Now she's a blue female, and she was doing good. When I got rid of her, I should have held on to her, but I just didn't need her at the time. And but I wish they say she is a coon dog, right? But
yeah,
and she was doing pretty. Like I said, she was doing pretty good when I got rid of her, but I just didn't need her.
Well, I kind of like those odd color ones myself. I like the blue ones for sure. I got a little blue female, the one that ain't treeing yet. Now she's a semen pup, and then my male dog's liver colored. Kind of, yeah, he's just liver colored all over.
Yeah, just real dark liver color.
Real dark, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, but now I tell you what, my females though, it's hard to talk against my females. I mean, I have had some good luck with them, all of them. I mean, Ruby, Daisy, Dolly, Jewel. I couldn't ask for better. I mean, Daisy didn't get the name, but she was every good a coon dog as any of them. You know, I mean, now she didn't hunt as fast. Dolly hunted fast. She covered a lot of ground. That's what I like about Hawk. It's out of her. Covered a lot of ground, gets treed quick. And that's what I really like that. I mean, she, you know, now sometimes by herself she wasn't quite as bad. If you in a cast, she thought she had to get away from them other dogs before she ever slowed down. Yeah. I mean, so each time she'd just be, well, she'd out hunt her mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, she had a decent mouth, but she wasn't loud, and she'd out hunt her mouth. You know, hunt's over with, she's 2 miles in their tree, been treed for an hour, you know, or something like that.
Yeah.
But Daisy now, she done some winning. I never did make the finals of Royal Hunt with her. I made the finals with that Walker female, made it with Rooster in 19, Dolly in 20, Ruby in 14 and 17, and then 23 with Jewel. I've been to the finals several times. But Daisy never could get the break. She'd always come in heat during the zone. She could never get out of that cycle. But she was high-scoring English female at the Winter Classic double cast winner in 2015. and she was Louisiana state champion, Arkansas runner-up, Arkansas state champion one year. I mean, but Daisy never did quite get the name that Ruby had and Dolly and Jewel. But she was every bit as good a coon dog.
Yeah.
And she'll still tree a coon. She tickles me.
Yeah.
Of course, she can't jump up in the truck. You have to help her in the truck, help her out. Can't hardly get, she falls down a lot. But you take her hunting. It takes her 1,000 yards to tree a coon or 100 yards to tree a coon. When she makes that tree, she's done. I mean, done. Won't go to another dog. Won't even listen to another dog.
Yeah.
She won't. I can take her. I just take her with another. I don't even leash her up. I mean, I don't even leash her up. I mean, come on, Daisy, let's go. You got it. Come on, let's go. She'll get down, follow me out the tree, and she'll walk with me the rest of the night. If I stayed up there another 3 hours, she never leaves my side. But now that first cut loose, till she makes that first tree, she'll go hunt. Yeah, she'll be 13 to 26th of November.
Yeah, that's good. That's pretty good. So we've been at it almost an hour and a half, and
I'm running my mouth.
No,
that ain't no problem at all.
Oh no, that's good. It's been great. I've enjoyed it. But do you have a favorite coon hunting story from all these dogs that you had that you could tell us, whether it be funny or serious or just a story?
Yeah, I do. We didn't have that good a dog, but we was having a good time. Me and one of my high school buddies, and he's done passed away. And the boy whose daddy got me coon hunting is me. The buddy of mine that's passed away, his named John Cogdell, Richard Stivers. His daddy's the one that got me coon hunting. And another old boy, we called him Pep. His name was Pep Sweden, and he's passed away. But we was out coon hunting one night, so I still hunt them woods. And it's early summer, hadn't got real hot, but it's warm enough for the snakes to be out. And he had overalls on, Pep Sweet. And we got talking about snakes. We was walking in about 6 inches of water and had done seen one snake. Boy, we better watch for snakes in this water, tall grass about knee deep. And all of a sudden he reached down and grabs his britches leg just above the knee. And I looked at him, I said, Pep, what's the matter with you? He said, man, something has went up my britches leg. And I said, man, and it's funny, the poor boy, and he was just a kid at the time. We just backed up from him like he's a leper or something, you know. Poor kid. But anyway, I said, man, you're going to have to get out of them overalls, and not one of us helped that boy. You know, unbuckle his shoulder straps of his overall. He'd reach up there and do one of them. He'd reach down and grab his leg. He finally got them things dropped, and a bullfrog about 8 inches long jumped out of his drawers. And I'll never will forget that. It was a bull. How that bullfrog went up his britches leg that fast, I'll never know. But we had been talking about snakes all night.
Oh.
That's all he had on his mind was the snake.
Oh, you'd had to call Lifeline in there for me.
That is a bullfrog.
You'd have brought a helicopter in there to get me out of there.
You talk about snakes. I had snake good try. I was wearing low boots, just shin boots. I had a moccasin come up my leg and try to go down that boot. Sure did.
He would have had the boots.
Oh, I tell you what, I went to kicking, and I hadn't even cut my dog loose. That was another blue tick female I had, and she was a pretty good hound. But I was leading her, and I scared her so damn bad. She was still on leash, and I couldn't get her caught. I scared her so bad.
Yeah. Oh, I've had some experiences like that. Especially, I'm from Alabama originally, the southeast corner, and especially hunting some like cypress ponds and stuff, and be talking about snakes and walking through there, and your buddy step on one of them fallen cypress limbs, and it go up and touch you on the back of the leg.
Oh yeah.
Make you want to run across the water. Yeah.
But I'll never forget that hunt. But one of my, I guess, as far as favorite hunt treeing coons is just, I don't know that I could pick a favorite. I mean, I've had some awful good hunts with a lot of good dogs.
Well, that's a pretty good story, and I tell you, probably a good spot to end on for sure, unless Brett's got other questions or unless you got something to add.
Well, I don't have any questions. I was just sitting here.
I gave you my history.
Well, it's been a good one.
So
I was just sitting here thinking a minute ago, and I was just because I'd been taking notes and writing stuff down. I was just thinking about. I thought, if Roy, if you couldn't hunt another night ever again, you've got an awful lot to be proud of in 12 years worth of comp hunting. You've kind of tore it up pretty good.
And what's funny, I was competition hunting back in the 80s. And, like I said, my first registered hunt that I won was in 1986. And when I come back in, got to going with these English dogs, people think I'm pretty new at the sport, and it's just that I got in some bad health. I just couldn't go and quit. And I lost contact. I didn't keep up with any of the breeds, didn't keep up with who was doing what, because it hurt too bad, because every time I get thinking about it, man, I'd want to go. I knew I couldn't, because, I nearly died. I was laid up in the hospital nearly dead before they figured out what was wrong with me.
Wow.
But they got me going now. I'm 61, and I can stay. Well, that last hunt RQE I was in, there's a guy, he was 55. And I was the oldest in the cast, walking them to death. We got back truck, that guy said, he asked me, he said, how old are you, Roy? And I wasn't quite 61 yet, but I went ahead and said 61. He said, man, I'm 55. I'm hoping I'm getting around as good as you are, and I'm 61. I said, hell, you don't get around as good as I do now.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I done walked them to death, boy.
Yeah.
But I do pretty good. For a 61-year-old man, I do pretty good.
It sounds like it, for sure. And you've been very successful, that's for sure. And
I tell you what, my Walker females put me on the map. These youngins got to keep me going.
Yeah.
They got to keep me out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, Mr. Roy.
I said my Walker females, my English females got me on the map.
Yeah.
But these young male dogs going to have to keep me out there.
Keep you going, yeah.
Keep me going.
Well, maybe they'll turn out and be just as good as the other ones, and one day we'll do this again, and you'll be talking about them.
Yeah. I'm taking push on radar. Yeah. You start seeing a blue male in front of me in the pictures, y'all know who it is.
Yeah, good. Hope we do get to see you in a bunch of pictures with him.
He's capable. He's capable. I got a lot of confidence in him.
Yeah.
It's just hard to leave them females at home when they're doing so good.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. Well, if you don't have anything else, I think we can wind it down right there. We're right at knocking on an hour and a half.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds good. Anytime.
All right, Mr. Roy.
We appreciate you coming on.
All right, Brett. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. You have a good evening.
You bet. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Roy. Take care. Bye-bye.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys, for listening to the Coonhound Collective podcast today. We really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to listen to the podcast. If you don't mind, head over to Facebook and give us a like, and head over to Instagram and give us a follow. It's both at the Coonhound Collective. Also, if you would like to reach us here at the Coonhound Collective, you can reach us at thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. If there's someone that you would like to hear on the podcast or a product that you would like to hear talked about, please send it to thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. Thanks again. Have a great day.